feel like one of these times I'm gonna accidentally back.
And it's gonna be on camera.
I don't hope you do, but it would.
Might just do it on purpose.
It would be the best thing I've ever seen if that
And it
happened on
would
camera.
most certainly turn into a short.
Yeah.
This is a unique beverage. I'm spilling everywhere.
Blackberry.
It's a blackberry. It's a blackberry, like a light beer, but it's okay. It wouldn't be my first choice, but they're out of all the others. It is sort of hazy, but it's pretty good actually.
I don't know. I don't like
spilling
beer.
half of it.
Well, I don't know. I think the cup is broken. I shit you. It is.
It is.
I gotta
It
be
is.
on a pace here.
Yeah.
Guys, we have a broken cup on deck right now. And let me just make sure real quick. Yep, we're good. We are good. We are good. So we're here with Miss Brianna Curley,
Yes.
camera girl extraordinaire this weekend, video gal.
Yep.
And then we have Leann Drake,
Yep.
Bella Otter, which by the way, both very cool names. I gotta say,
you.
very avant-garde, kind of creative, fun names. So we actually ended up, none of us had met or probably even hardly knew each other too much. I know we met a little bit in Vegas, but we all got paired up. It was us 4. She Shoots X's, Kayla, Katie, and then the Italian boys, and then several others. And I think we just had a fun group.
We had a great bunch.
It was so fun.
It was an amazing bunch.
Yeah. How many times have each of you done Reading before?
Gosh, I want to say this is my 7th year, I think.
Jeez,
I
Martha.
know. It feels crazy. It has been that many. It feels crazy.
That's a lot.
Yeah, so this is only my second year shooting it. So
Well, I also learned you are 19.
I just turned 20.
20. Nice.
20.
Happy
Yeah.
birthday.
Thank
Oh my
you.
goodness.
Great. That's good. Very exciting.
Very
I'm
exciting.
super excited right now.
Thank you.
All right, here's
I've
what-
heard that about 1,075 times this weekend.
And
It's been an exciting weekend.
I have to add, he did not live up to it yesterday, and I was pretty irritated about it.
But he brought the energy back today for sure.
For
like
sure,
it was back full
100%.
force.
Yes.
Full camp counselor mode.
Oh, come
Roll
on.
call.
Yes.
All of it.
We even sat down at a desk for scoring, had people come up single file.
Yes.
It was great.
Yeah.
Brianna was actually a teacher at one
was,
point, so
yeah.
she should have been doing that. But I'm going to do something. We're all going to give a 1 to 10 rating on our overall morale throughout the weekend. We'll start with Brianna and we'll go around the horn.
No, I mean, I didn't plan my phone too much until today. And then I started, playing my matching game a little bit. And overall, my energy was quite good. At points, I was like a little ninja disappearing to get stuff done. So I would say that my morale, I'm going to combine it to / energy level, because usually that's what I lose first, was like a solid 9.2 for me this weekend.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is a monster score. That's a huge score.
Yeah.
I'm going to go... I've never shot Reading before, so I can't really compare it to a past Reading. I have shot a lot of 3Ds, and I would say our group, honestly, was just about as fun as like a recreational shoot I've been
Is this
to.
an individual overall morale, or is this a group morale? Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, I misunderstood the question, teacher, camp counselor. Group morale? I'm still gonna keep it high, like probably a 8.4. I feel like nobody really fell off the rails. No, there's definitely no fits, no tantrums, no crying, no anger, no bows being thrown. I've seen worse, honestly, morale experiences at attack in some of our groups.
Oh, for real, 100%.
Yeah, or I'd go way lower. And we'd enter the 3 market for me. But no, so I'm gonna go like 8.4.
Solid score. Yeah, I would say probably about the same. I would say it was like a good 8.6 out of 10. I think that coming into something like Reading, all I kept hearing was how long it takes, right? And we did not experience that once. Every day we were done. I think both of the first 2 days we were done at about 1.
Yeah.
Today I think was like 12, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, no waiting. Like she said, no one was a sourpuss. Everyone was cool and nice. And our group, honestly, was pounding across the board, I think. Like, we had so many 22s. You were talking about, like, the game your dad plays, and we'll talk about that after, but, like, we only had one time someone would have won.
That would have been a big pot of money. That would have been 2 days build up. Like, that would be wild.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So what's your rating? You've shot 7 of these bad boys.
I have shot 7
So you have a lot to
bad boys.
compare it to.
Yes, and you know what? I've shot, because my first couple of years here, it was with just the group from my local shop, Central Coast Archery in San Luis Obispo. And they're like family to me, right? And so that was always fun. I think especially like as a youngster coming in and whatnot, I was just stoked to be shooting with the big guys, you know? But then also the last couple of years being on pro bails, don't get me wrong, I love when the energy is focused and when it's locked in. I think that a lot of times we can kind of feed off each other's energy that way. But I also, one thing I really appreciated this year is I feel like, kind of like James, you were saying, we really had, I don't know that any of us really knew each other all that much going into it. It was kind of a bunch of people that they kind of just plopped together on one bail. But from the get-go, the energy was immediately super encouraging. We're all giving each other high fives. We're all calling for each other. And we started, over the course of the weekend, stuff like pro move, we started having these bits and these little inside jokes and whatnot. I feel like everybody, when you were able to kind of have that cohesiveness, that kept morale high. And so I would say
silence.
No awkward silence. It was all fun, playful, but also very focused, very intentional shooting. And so I'm gonna rate it at a 9.3. I'm gonna go high.
9.3.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 9.
Huge score. I love it.
I'm an optimist by nature, so I'm gonna err on the side of morale high.
As am I. I think we're similar in that way, and I do appreciate that. That is
Likewise.
a good trait, I think.
Likewise.
I think we had this discussion, and I said I think I'm a Leann and you're a Bella.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm
think-
much more of like the more dry, more say it like it is, more just is what it is, kind of. Right even. I saw a little bit of James in Leann
today. She was fired up today.
Energy drink.
Yes. She was fired up.
Someone slipped her a caffeine pill and she doesn't know it.
Yes, she was on the gas today. I come up to like target something and I'm like, how is she there like 20 minutes early? Usually that's me. Usually everyone's showing up and I've already shot twice. She was early, but all right. Give me your rating. You have 1 year to compare it to.
Yeah, so I think last year, and nothing against anybody, but I think that last year we had an all pro bail and there was so much tension and I just felt like it wasn't a Reading experience. I wanted to come here and I wanted to have fun. I had never experienced anything like this, and I wanted to have so much fun, and I don't think last year really delivered that to me. So I'm so glad that I got put into this group that I didn't know, and I feel like
be fun bunch.
Yeah. And so I feel like the energy was super high and I feel like we all worked good together. If somebody was like needing an arrow call or something, then somebody was always there. So I'm going to go high too. I think I'm going to go a 9.2.
9.2. Pro score. Yeah,
This made me switch mine and I feel like I had to, and now I went the lowest score of the group.
Yeah. I want to say too, like, even though I have not shot a lot of like national stuff like y'all have, I've competed a long time at like, local stuff and I think that we did a really good job on line calls and not getting contentious about it. It was like we all looked at it and every single time it was like we all had one that we wish we would have got, but I think in our heart we knew every time it was like it is out, or it is in. Like we didn't have any crazy disagreements or disputes, and that can happen a lot of times, especially when you're at a pro level like y'all. And I'm just proud of that as a group that we had nothing that stuck like crazy. We didn't have to call a judge over or get crazy, and we all shot. Like the Italian dudes are so good, and you guys were so good, and I felt like I was really good. Like we had a lot of good shooters, and I think that makes it more fun too when you're kind of pounding, Mm-hmm. But what is you said you've done 7, you've done 1. What's your all-time record score-wise? Did you get it this weekend, or was it a past weekend?
That is a great question. This weekend I ended up with a 15-15.
You got me by one.
And by one.
By one.
By one.
By one.
Yes, I remember, I think right when I started shooting, my goal is always for sure to break 15 this year, and ideally next year I'd really like to hit that 15-20 mark. And so we'll see. We're going to keep pushing for it. It's one of those things where, like, the thing with this course is people talk all the time about how, oh my gosh, it's such a cleanable course. It's such a cleanable course and whatnot. And I think a lot of times, especially when coming from tournaments where, you know, it is a game of millimeters, not to say that isn't the case here, because of course you definitely want to be going for the center of those dots and not letting yourself get kind of lost in that bigger orange. But there is a degree of truth to the idea of, if you are on the money and you know that you have the ability to consistently keep your foot on the gas through all 3 days, I think it is one of those courses that, you know, with every shot, with every point dropped, there is this little bit of a sense of like, man, I know I can have that. I know I can have that. I know I can have that.
For sure,
You would definitely agree on a lot of those
100%.
points.
Yep.
And so I think with this tournament, always when you're ending it, there's a sense of satisfaction, a sense of feeling really good about it, and there's this extra little fire in there that's like, okay, and I know that we can get that much better, which for me, I think is really fun for a tournament to end that way, because it keeps the motivation there. It keeps it keeps you something to strive for, all that jazz.
I agree. So you said 15-15 was your highest? That's the highest you shot?
I might have hit it 15-17 at some point. I know that I've kind of been within that 15-15 to 15-20 range. Somewhere in there.
Okay. Yeah. All right. What about you?
Yeah,
Second
so
year.
I don't really know what I shot this year. 15.
You were 15-22, I think.
15-22.
Crush. Or 15-32.
I think
I know I heard you say it
15-32.
earlier. I think so.
Is it
I heard you say it
32?
earlier.
Yeah, I definitely shot better than last year. Last year, that was a roller coaster, only because I had never shot anything like this. And I'm so used to flat ground that this about killed me. But regardless, I came much more prepared this year, and I felt a lot better about uphills and downhills and just being able to relax and have a little bit more fun than last year. So yeah, this is my set number now.
That's great. And I think, part of the reason last year you might have been struggling too is I think that group morale can make a big difference. And like you said, not that you had like a beef with the group, but just that it was more tense, more serious. And for me, that was something in Vegas that, I had never shot an indoor anything ever. So not a league, nothing, just 6 weeks of practice right into it. And what I really tried to do was when I felt the tension hit the first day, which it was a lot 10x what I thought it would be. I think that what I kept trying to do was just keep the vibe hot with everybody around us, because I'm like, if we all stop and like we're just like too clammed up and everyone's like too in their head and tense, I think that's not good for your performance. Like, I think you're so much better to be looser. If you miss one, is what it is. Like we talked about today many times. The last one doesn't matter. The next one doesn't matter. Just the one you're on right now. And I think that when you're having fun and the energy is high, I think it makes it a lot easier to have that mentality than if like it's a total quiet, dead feel and you miss one. It's much harder to go and leave it in the past.
And I really think that having that extra like motivation, like as a teammate or as a group of like people being able to be like, brush that off. You know what I mean? Instead of you just like thinking about it like that should have been in, or that could have been in, or I could have done this, where it's just like you're focused on other things going on, or like somebody's like, hey, that was a good shot. I feel like that makes a big difference too.
I think it's special when you find a group of people that is able to kind of collectively almost hold this silent agreement that just is the way that the weekend's going to go. I think it's similar to the mentality of like a rising tide lifts all boats in a way.
I love it.
Like when you have everybody together kind of just deciding that we're going to keep this fun because we're here for the same reasons. It's to enjoy ourselves. It's also to shoot well, but we're here to, have the most fun that we can. And so I think when people are really in agreement of that and in agreement of encouraging each other to maintain that same mindset, I think you find so much more flow with the people around you and flow with your own process and your own mind space. It's that much easier to reach into those or to create those positive flips when you need them, when you have the people around you that are reflecting that energy back at you.
100%. I mean, and if you just hear the scores that the three of us just said. I mean, personal best, maybe a personal best or very close. Obviously for me, a personal best, but then like other people in the group too had their personal best. So everyone was better than they had been. And I think a lot of that is because of the morale. I really believe that. So I felt like our group, I mean, how you know it's a good group is that almost all of us were like, we should run it back next year and just do the same group and do it again. Like we found something that we all like, all want to be a part of. And that's dope. Like I'm really blessed that we got to do it. But I'm curious, y'all, you know, you guys have a little bit of a different journey with archery than I do. I've been shooting my whole life since I was 3. And I've been a bow hunter my whole life. And then in 2018, we started doing, the Bow Disciples channel and the content. And no one, I mean, I was just making videos for fun essentially till like 2022, 2023, it really blew up and changed our lives, but you guys are kind of different because you are competitors, first and foremost, professional shooters. So what was your journey getting into archery? Did you both start when you were little girls? Did you start later on? And then, how do you guys view people that do content versus like our full-blown competitors?
Take it away, Chica.
Okay, so
it's a tough one when they both stall out.
So I started shooting not competition. I just started shooting with my dad whenever I was about 3. And then I went to my first competition whenever I was around the age of 9 or 10, actually in Cincinnati, Ohio. And then I hit like this huge lull. I was shooting right-handed. And then I switched to left-handed in 2019.
Was that an eye dominance thing?
It was, yeah. So I would shoot really, really good at home under no pressure. And then whenever I got under pressure, then my left eye would try to take over. And then it just went straight downhill.
Yep.
And so then I went professional 3 years ago and have loved it ever since. I love the atmosphere of it. And for the content stuff, a lot of companies love for us shooters to post content. And I think this can be so controversial because I'm not one that likes everybody to know what I'm doing at every point in time in my life. I like to succeed and put in the work to do it and not let everybody know the little secrets. And that is totally controversial. But as for you, I think that it gives us like a sense of like somebody else cares about what we're doing. Like for you guys to ask me and Bella to do this, it meant a lot to me. Like, I wouldn't sit here and talk to a camera if I didn't have to. So I think that I'm just being honest.
I love Leann. I really love her. I do.
So I feel like having that sense is very important where it's an option for us to do it and not just to we have another way to get our name out there other than just shooting. Not everybody cares about scores. They don't know what it all means. So I think it's very important that you guys are here and that you enjoy shooting and have fun doing it and are able to feed everybody content too.
Yeah. What do you think?
Well,
also very good. I mean, I was so thorough. That was so thorough and solid.
Yes.
And I mean, so many of those points are good in any sport, right? Any sport, you're going to have people that are the top best people. It doesn't matter if it's baseball or golf. Like you have guys that are, or girls that are going to be the best that love to put stuff out too. And then you have ones that's just not their thing. They want to just lock in and do their competing and keep it moving. Both are fine. So I don't think there's anything wrong with you not wanting to do content. I think that's great, and then you have people like Paige that she's able to, especially later in her career, do both things really well. And I think maybe, when you're you could get to the point where you're like, I want to do a little more of both.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's anything wrong with either option. And I think that's what's important is to always remember that, either way is good. There's multiple ways to skin a cat. It's not like the people who don't post should hate the people who do, and the people who do should not like the people that don't. Like, that's goofy to me. It's like we should all just rising tide raises all ships. But take it away, Bella. What do you got?
Oh boy. Well, the first part A of that question. I started shooting, the very first time I ever shot, I was in Girl Scouts. I was 9 years old. And I've told this story before, but I remember being the very first one of my troop to pop the balloons that we were shooting at. And my 9-year-old ego was, I was into it. I was hooked at that point. And so shortly after that, I started asking my parents for a bow for Christmas. And my dad ordered one off of Amazon. He had no archery experience at all. It was something that, nobody in our family had been introduced to at all. And so he ordered one off of Amazon, and sure enough, it showed up under the tree when I was 10. And from then on out, about a year later, we found Central Coast Archery, which is the local shop that I have been shooting at since the beginning. And so I started taking JOAD classes there, and now I'm getting to teach the same JOAD classes that I was taking as a kid, which is a fun little full circle moment.
That is.
And so after I started taking classes there, it was those guys that really kind of gave me this foundation. So I actually was getting instruction from people that really kind of knew what they were doing and had a lot of experience behind them. And it was those guys that started encouraging me, hey, there is a competitive aspect to this if it is something that you would want to, see if it's up your alley a little bit. And so I started out with just regional shoots, turned into state shoots, turned into national tournaments, turned into eventually some international opportunities, which was amazing, which, by the way, I have to shout out Leann too. And that homegirl has repped Team USA all over the place, and I don't feel like she gave herself enough credit for just the caliber of tournaments that she's been able to attend and crush. And so anyway, both her and I have been able to do this national tour for quite a few years now and whatnot, and I've had some international experiences, which has been super rad. And so for me, that was kind of the way that it all progressed, and I think I've been shooting pro for the last 4 years or so, give or take.
Veteran by now.
Sometimes it feels like it, and sometimes it feels, as we all know, there's a million things. You never stop learning in this sport. Mm-hmm. And so, yes, but I think that the more that I'm around the other pro women and just pros in general and whatnot, it's being exposed to them that allow me to continue growing myself as a pro, of course.
Yeah.
When it comes to the content side of things, I think also, like Leann said, yes, there is a degree of, I don't know whether it's called responsibility, if that's the right word or not, but I think there is this sense of, as a pro, we do have a certain platform to promote these, whether it's certain companies or whether it's certain supporters that have supported us in our ability to get where we are. And so I think that in a way, I feel a sense of responsibility to be able to kind of use the platform. Sounds dramatic in a way, but like to use the opportunity in a way to use that opportunity to reflect some of that shine onto the people that have allowed me to get to where I am now and have allowed me to shoot the equipment that I'm shooting where I'm now. I also like making content that is a reflection of things that I like to support or I think deserve that spotlight. So for me, I shoot for Break the Barriers, and I have been a part of that organization for a couple years now, but especially in the last year, I've become a lot more involved with them. And so any chance I get to talk about the Break the Barriers mission, what they do, the BTB 3D National Championship, and all of those things, I like using it as a way to spotlight others that have either supported me or maybe necessarily haven't supported me, but I think that people should go support them. Yep. And so that's why that's my goal with content. But with that being said, it's not my first natural instinct either. And so I think that it's cool to be in a group like this where we have you, we have Kayla, both of you are super experienced when it comes to actually making content that people respond to. And so I think when you have a group of pros and a group of content creators in the same group, there's so much that we can learn from each other in that when it comes to the shooting side of things and when it comes to the content side of things. So that in the end, you brought up Paige, she's a fantastic example of somebody that does both extremely well. And so I think that as we all become more experienced in this space with each of our different roles in a way, I think that there's so much to learn from each other so we can keep bettering ourselves in each category, if that makes sense. Very solid.
Great. Very solid answer. Very thorough. You have any questions? I got a few, but if you have any, pop them too. We're not like also an interview pod. We just have conversations, but I feel like the questions are going good. So I say we keep them rolling if you have any.
No, well, just like to sum up both of what they said, like you said, there's nothing wrong with either aspect. And there are companies that, like the boat companies themselves that have R&D rooms that like, there are some companies that have a part of their R&D rooms that are not filmable or seeable by the public, and that's an okay thing because like it still is a competitive world. Like you're still, you're a pro, you're doing it for money, you're doing it for a living, like if you gave away every secret to everybody to give them a tip on how to better yourself, like, well, now you may not be winning because that person who took the tip is. So it makes complete sense. But I think in a way, we're in a sport that is so tied to something that can eventually potentially disappear that whether you're a target archer or a hunter, both use the same, different type of equipment, but the same companies that make the equipment. And the more people that are involved, the better that community can possibly be and not disappear or dwindle away. Which then in lieu, again, does not allow hunting to disappear because that's more people that are going to get in there and vote. But it's also from like a safety and fun aspect that like I think when pros do post stuff, like he said that comment that came across YouTube earlier today, when pros do post stuff, even if it's just general stuff like you're winning and like that laugh with the high five, like it shows that even everything is not serious. Like you can have fun. So even if you come to Reading and you are not a pro, that'll be me next year. I'll be in that little amateur class. You can still have fun doing it. And like you can compare your scores to the group of people that you come with, like you don't have to compare your score to the pro and say, well, I suck, like it just teaches people that like you can still have a good time. You can still come out here. You can still learn from the pros though. Like there's this respect level of like that they're different, but it's still all the same. And like literally the name of Break the Barriers though, it breaks a barrier that I feel like has formed between like a pro level, a hunter, and a fun shooter. Like they're just three separate classes that shouldn't really, they exist and they should exist, but then the wall between them shouldn't. Because if you don't have somebody who gives you a bow for Christmas or like a dad who shot so you get into it at 3 years old, what like myself that gone in at 24, like unless you meet somebody, which luckily I did, who was allowed me to get into it, how do you find out, how do you, learn something, and how do you decide if it's something you want to even try if you don't get to see stuff out there? So I think always a little bit of content at least is a good thing. And then, keep the secrets though. Don't give them the secrets away.
Gotta keep some.
I did have a funny question though from earlier when we were talking about like the morale of the group. Have you ever shot with a group that you were just like, this is like, I was trying to come up with two letters that started the same, but like a downer Betty that was just like
Debbie Downer.
That's the word I was trying to come up with. Jeez, I don't know why I had D and B, but a Debbie Downer that just brought down the mood, and then it's all you're thinking about when you draw the bow back.
I think
I have.
Oh, yeah.
I have before, yeah.
I mean, I would say for the most part, I've been very, very fortunate with the people that I've been able to shoot with.
Same.
I also think that it's a little bit of a superpower to be able to recognize when you're shooting with somebody like that, and to be able to kind of create that force field around yourself that allows you to stay pretty unaffected
That is the
by that. I think that that's something that, inevitably, you spend enough years doing something like this and you're going to run into people like that because they're out there, although I would say that's not the case for the most part, at least in my own experience. But when you are around somebody like that, having the ability to maintain your own morale and maintain your own energy and realize that the energy that they are projecting has everything to do with them and has nothing to do with you is something that for me is really helpful in terms of not letting myself, like I've never, even when I have shot with people like that, it's never gotten to a point where I'm thinking about it. Like, to use your words, I'm thinking about it every time I draw the bow back, because I'm not letting, they don't get to have that power over me.
Yeah, I don't have that
my
superpower.
own, like I have my own power in my self and my belief in my ability to maintain my own sense of morale and create my own joy in it.
Facts.
Yeah.
Yeah, solid.
Yeah, so let me add on to Bella because she is just a little bundle of joy all the time. So yeah, every time I get to shoot with her, it is a blast and I have so much fun. But I also feel like maturity levels between the youth classes, the young adult classes, and the pro class are huge. I could not have been more relieved when I left the young adult class to go to the pro class and actually enjoy shooting my bow. It was so much drama and so much yippity yappeting behind the line that it just drove me nuts. And so I think that whenever I went to the pro class, I have not had a problem since.
Good.
And so I think maturity level is huge in that. But Bella's the little bundle of joy in the group all the time.
She is. We were kind of battling for that title to, this weekend.
Yeah, you and I were both cheerleaders for sure. Team captains.
Yeah. So you've been a pro for 4 years and you said 3?
3.
So do y'all both do it for your full-time job or do you do other things as well?
So I am currently a student in college. But the goal is I would love to shoot my bow for a living, but I don't think many people make it in that field. But I would love to do something with the hunting industry and not the archery industry. I just haven't made it that far yet.
I just graduated college, and so for a while between shooting and school and then working part-time at the archery shop, that was the gig. And so now that I'm not in school anymore, I am working still at the archery shop, which I love every single day. And I'm also working at a restaurant, which I have a great time with.
Yeah,
I love it so much.
Yeah, sick.
And so I think that it's nice also for me, I'm somebody that can't necessarily be 100% fixated on archery all the time. I have to have some variety. I'm a big outdoorsy gal. And so anytime I get to do anything in the outdoors, I'm living and loving it. And so while I know that archery is always going to be a part of my life in some capacity, I would love to always have it, make sure that I'm coupling it with something else that brings me just as much joy that isn't necessarily tied to it. Because I can see how if it is kind of your one and only, whether it's a source of income or whether it's just kind of, the through line for everything, I think maintaining the joy in it is so important to me. And I can see how those different types of pressures that come with that would potentially bring that level of joy, not necessarily to, not make it disappear in any way, but I think it would add an element to it that wouldn't come from the same place. And so for me, I see it, like I said, being a part of my life always, but I like that variety. I have to have something in the mix also, just for my own sanity in a way. Yep.
That's a pro move because I was I was a pro bike rider from like 2010 to 2013, and biking was everything. I had done it forever. That was where I made all my money, which was not a lot at the time, but nonetheless, eventually I grew a huge disdain for bikes and never wanted to bike, ever. And when I retired from bike riding, I told all my sponsors, I said, I'm done. We don't have to renew my contracts. I'm not riding anymore. And I literally did not touch a bike for probably 6 years.
Wow.
And then now I've ridden a couple of times and I love biking now. I still don't do it a whole lot, but I have the desire to want to ride. And I think that can happen. And one of the ways we're blessed with doing content like we do now, so you get to do a lot of different stuff. It's all archery related, but we dip into so many different bags that it could be hunting, it could be Vegas, it could be this, it could be whatever. It could be trad. I might do a year doing trad, who knows? So I think the fact that I can stay in the niche but have so many different pockets, whereas when I was bike riding, it was only freestyle biking, only doing tricks over big jumps and risk an injury, and that's not really a thing with archery as much, but nonetheless, like, I know what you're saying. It can be overbearing if that's all you're ever doing and all you're ever thinking about, especially if you start to do poorly or something and you're losing a sponsorship. Like every year when we renew contracts, I'm so nervous, and thankfully we haven't had any issues, but it's like a brand could just lose budget or something, and it's like you're sort of cooked or whatever. So it is stressful, and I think it's good to have your eggs in multiple baskets that you enjoy, like you said.
Gives you freedom, and with freedom comes choices, and with choices comes peace of mind. So
she reads books, guaranteed. She reads books,
I
yes.
feel like they're both this, like, very much so. Like, I think maybe somewhere along the line your families are related or something. I feel like, do you read motivational books? Do you like those?
I can dip into the self-help world a little bit.
Yeah.
The book, one
can't do
reason,
that.
like, okay, You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero is the single book that I think every human being on this planet should read at some point in their life. That book is
Which is the problem is you
phenomenal.
fall asleep.
I'm going to put it on my list.
It's amazing. You
I
are a
love-
badass.
I love
And
a good read.
She tells you how to get the good stuff, man, and it
Yes.
works. It's crazy. So
Yes.
those kinds of things
Yes.
light me up for sure.
Also, speaking on the stuff that puts a battery in your back, listen to the Big Deal podcast with my girl Cody Sanchez. Fire. You're going to be motivated
I will
when
say
you play.
that's the only podcast I am able to make it through, other than the ones I have to edit for people.
Yeah.
She comes with bars.
She does.
She's got heaters. The books, though, James reads some, and they're like, oh, this is a heater line. We'll be late in bed, and I'm reading over there, and he was like, I gotta read it to you. I'm like, it sounds like you just quoted me something out of old scripture testament, out of Genesis or something. I'm like, who gets excited for that?
Do you like audiobooks?
I do.
Okay.
I do. But I'm more of a fictional or historical reader.
Okay. Love it.
Outside of that, the nonfiction, unless it's based on World War II or something, I'm out usually.
I love the turn in the spot to talking about books and
club.
and
Got a
podcasts.
book club going over here.
What's everyone's favorite podcast? Let's go around the horn. We already know
Yeah.
yours. Big Deal with Cody
Yeah,
Sanchez.
that'd probably be it.
Yeah, right now that's mine as well. What about you guys? Favorite podcast right now? Do we have one? Any genre?
I'll be honest with you. Don't listen to podcasts, books, or read them. So music is my go-to. But
Okay, give me your top 3 bands all time from third to first. Or artists. They don't have to be bands.
Question to see what this is going to be.
Yeah, she is young. So are we gonna
All
have
right.
6ix9ine in here or what?
I'm with the AC/DC,
Okay.
Deftones,
Older music.
and probably a good old Zach Bryan.
Okay.
Rock on,
I like
girl.
Zach Bryan.
Rock
All right.
on.
All right. What do you got? Top 3,
Okay.
third to first.
Okay, I'm going to start with the podcast because I've.
Oh yeah,
sometimes
yeah.
a
We
podcast
can't glance
early.
over that. Yeah.
In general, the podcast I listen to the most is probably Armchair Expert with Dax Shepard.
Oh yes.
It's
I
a
have heard it.
cool. It's a cool bunch. They have on people in pop culture, but they also have on experts in the field of everything A to Z. It could be from astrophysics to zoology,
Yeah.
quite literally A to Z, like anything. And so you have these people that are really, really educated and really, really good at what they do. Come on, and you get to learn a lot. And I think it's really fun. They're funny. They're great.
Yeah.
Bands, music, it's so all over the place.
Yeah.
Like it is everything from like some salsa, like some Latin American, like I
Really?
can get down with something like that. Exactly.
All right.
Bole, bole.
Don't
Yes.
worry, I've introduced you to the Indian music.
Yeah,
Yes.
I can get down with music from anywhere by anybody, or I can swing totally another direction and I can get down with some Tash Sultana. If y'all haven't checked out Tash Sultana,
I have not.
she's from Australia. She rocks on. She's kind of like a little bit of an indie artist, but she can play basically every instrument under the sun, and she creates her own songs by using a loop pedal. And so she loops those different instruments to build her own songs.
That's
and
sick.
she can shred, and she has an amazing voice. She's great.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Well, they're putting up the podium back here.
are.
So
I didn't go watch Tate shoot,
They
but
haven't.
I don't know how he did. I'm so curious to hear how Tate did. Shout out to Tate. He was
Maybe
2
it's
down
still
all
going.
weekend.
I don't think they've
I think
started.
he's
Oh, okay.
tied
We're gonna get to watch.
Tied for second. I
Yeah,
think,
he's
right
tied
now.
for second.
Yeah.
That's my guy. So yeah, excited to see. But I appreciate both of you. I'm really proud of what you're doing, and I was super impressed with both your shooting this weekend. So
Thank you.
I'm excited for next year.
I didn't
We'll do
shoot
it
the
again.
bow. I didn't shoot the bow.
It's still,
You know what?
it's still here.
Well, she got it. There you go.
It
I
is
feel like
still
we just
here.
need to find a bale
Yeah.
somewhere and just like walk over there and shoot it.
Absolutely.
I mostly just see if I can even draw it. 'Cause
We
it
can
is
go
on
to
my
the
map,
practice
so
range.
Yeah, let's do
Maybe
it.
we'll go there.
We're gonna go have Brianna shoot Leann's bow. Yeah, like I said, appreciate you guys. Everyone go check them out. I'm gonna have their socials down below, and they're also in the videos throughout the weekend. So thank you guys. Keep
Thank
crushing
you.
it. We're definitely fans now, and are gonna be rooting
Likewise.
for y'all moving forward.
Yes,
Right
thank
back
you.
at you. Thank you. Thank you. Good
Thank
shooting
you.
this weekend too.
Appreciate it.
Yes. Brianna,
Like and
good shooting with the
subscribe.
camera.
Yes,
5 stars
I
on the
love the
podcast
camera.
on Spotify and Apple, and bowdisciples.com. Sign up for the challenge May 15 to 17. Team BD 20% badlandsgear.com, and we'll see you in the next one.
Mic drop.
Nice, guys.